Hi, I'm Amber.
Hi, I'm AJ, and welcome to Mountain Traditions Homestead.
We are on here today to do a little garden tour for you all. We've not really done a full garden tour this summer, and everything is getting big enough now where we're proud enough of it that we want to show it to y'all, and it'll actually be interested more than just a little seedling popping up. So follow us over to the garden and check it out. Okay, we'll start over here on the first row. These here are Cherokee purple tomatoes. These are the only tomatoes that we're growing this year that we did not start from seed. We got these at a local place, so they were started by somebody a lot like us somewhere, so we're okay with that. We just don't like to buy from big box stores if we can help it. These guys are doing really well. Believe it or not, they were ate down, not all the way to the ground by deer, but they were chopped off pretty well. And we thought we were going to lose them, but we didn't. You can see this one's already got a blossom on it. Of course, we actually have some actual tomatoes on the other ones, but we're super glad that these are looking to come back and do well, especially this one. Got a marigold there. Those are really good deer deterrents. We put that in after the deer came through. We actually had a problem finding those this year. In the middle here, we've got some basil. That's also good for pest control. Of course, you can dry it out, save it, use it in the kitchen, use it fresh, and it produces a lot. Once it gets a little bigger, it spreads like most herbs. Alright, here we've got a row of peppers, and we alternated these banana peppers and jalapenos. All these are doing really well. They're all getting buds, looking really good, and we've had a lot of rain and cool weather recently, so we're really happy with the way they're doing. Here we've got a couple rows of red onions in the middle. And then we've got two peppers here. And on this big trellis, we've got Kajari melons. And this is something new for us. We did start these from seeds. And they are going to grab onto those trellises pretty soon and start climbing up. Those produce a melon that are a lot like a miniature cantaloupe. If I can find a picture, I'll insert it right here for you guys to see. They're like a personal size, comparable to a cantaloupe, people say. I've never had one. I think they originated in India. Excuse me, but I'll insert a picture for you guys. AJ was just pointing out to me. We've got a friend here. I don't know if you can see him, but we're going to leave him because he will eat the bad bugs. He won't mess with our plants, but he'll eat the guys who do. So, much to AJ's dismay, he stays. Alright, we continue our pepper row back here. All these are alternating jalapeno and banana peppers. And as you can see here, we're super excited about this little baby jalapeno pepper. Yep, we've got yellow onions in the middle. These we got from AJ's daddy. We started those. Every single one of them's doing awesome. Back here I've got some garlic that we got from his daddy, and it's just now starting to get a little green nub on each of those. That's a weed right there. I weeded yesterday, but that one's got thistles on it, and I didn't have gloves, so he stayed until I can find some gloves. And this side of our peppers are all bell peppers. We've got lilac bells and California wonders. On this trellis here, I planted 3 cucumber plants, pickling cucumbers. That one And this little tiny nub is all I've got. I'm not sure if the deer got a hold of that one or if it just didn't do well. I'm not sure. But I planted another one there yesterday, didn't I? Yeah.
Yes.
I planted another one there yesterday. So we'll have some succession harvest there, but that's okay. All right. Here's a better view of the Kajari melons, what they look like. The plants. Alright, we'll move on to our next row. And we've got 3 Black Beauties tomatoes in this bed. The deer also got a hold of these. You can tell the difference in these and that big monster right there. And that is thanks to the deer, but they're coming back. I've got marigolds here. That seems to be helping. Haven't had any more deer problems. Got a little basil right there. He's struggling a little bit. Not sure why. I think some pest damage, but I think it's going to pull through. Here's a little tip. We've got some rubber snakes in the garden. We use those to deter the birds from eating at the fruits. We had them in the strawberry bed, but actually we weren't having any problems over there, but we were over here. So we decided to switch that for now. And you do have to move those. The birds will get smart and realize that they're in the same spot, so you do have to move them every so often. This is our most beautiful tomato plant right now. It actually does not have any fruit on it at the moment. It's got some blossoms, but no actual fruit yet. But it is the best looking plant. I think it's going to produce some really pretty tomatoes. The front 2 are Black Beauties, and then we've got St. Pierre's back here. They all look really good. I think the ones on the far side over there had some deer damage, if I remember, and this middle one. They're a little lankier, but they're doing okay. Some more basil in the middle. These are some more Kajari melons. You can see that one's already... Oh, and we've got a blossom on that one, actually. 2 blossoms. Let's see. See that down in the middle there? Yep. There's another little Kajari melon back there. Got back here, and I've got 2 more cucumbers that'll climb up this trellis. We decided to stick all with the pickle and cucumbers. We wanted to make a lot of pickles for us and to sell, to give as gifts. And you can eat those just like you can a slicing cucumber. So we just decided to plant those. Alright, back here we've got a St. Pierre, a couple Romas, and a couple Amish paste. This is our Roma plant back here. You can tell the difference. See how it's spreading out and branching. We don't pick the suckers off of Roma tomatoes. Those are called Yes, those are called, I had to think about it. Those are called determinate tomatoes. If you start pruning off your suckers on a determinate tomato, then you're going to cut down on your yield. It's not the same as a Black Beauty or a St. Pierre, whereas you prune your suckers off there, it's going to produce more fruit. Indeterminate tomatoes can get super tall. If you give them enough trellis to climb, tie them up, they can get like 8 foot tall, whereas these are more like a bush tomato, if you will. And this plant right here, AJ was reminding me, is our first one to actually bear some fruit. Right here, we've got 2 little baby tomatoes. And those are St. Pierre's, so we're excited. I hope nothing gets to those before we can harvest them. Another little basil plant, another little snake. And this, I'm actually going to step into the bed so you guys can see this well. This is a loofah gourd. And as you can see, he has really taken off. We planted this little guy from seed. And I don't know if you guys know what a loofah gourd is, but a loofah like you buy in the store that you shower with, uses a scrubby. Those are actually made from these little gourds or melons. It looks kind of like a zucchini. I'll again try and insert a picture here. You can see it's already putting off little shoots, tendrils that are grabbing onto the trellis. So we're going to have some of those pretty soon, hopefully. Some blossoms and buds come off of that. Hey, the guinea's venturing out. We just got excited. Our little guinea, you can see her back there. We've had her in the coop to teach her where home is with the chickens over there. And she's kind of been sticking really close by and not really wanting to do her job. And she's a little crazy, as you can see. Her name's Penguin, because we're, you know, smart like that. But she's not really been venturing out to eat pests and things. Guineas will not destroy your garden, but they will eat the pests. But they won't do that if they don't come over towards the garden. So I'm glad she's venturing out a little more. This is a porch post, for lack of a better term. It came off my grandmother's house, which used to sit over where my mother's is now. When we had it tore down, I kept that kind of as a memento, and I plan to use it as a trellis somewhere in the garden. I thought it would be really pretty. AJ's back there dying laughing because I just tripped over it. Anyway, we plan to use it as a trellis. I was going to put it in the garden, but I think it would be really pretty somewhere with some morning glories or something on it. So I just got to have to find the right spot for it.
And some TLC.
Yep, I like the rusty, out-of-date look though. I think it's pretty. Okay, this little bed up here, I've got 2 zucchini plants doing really well. I just planted those from seed. We didn't start those, just direct sowed those in the ground. Yesterday I just put in 2 squash plants back there, 2 squash seeds. They grow really fast, so we should just get a late harvest off of those. And I also put a squash plant in this little tire here. Had a flower here that died, so I replaced that. And back here I had planted some ground cherries, and I took a chance and just put those seeds in the ground because I ordered them late and they didn't do anything. So those are really one of the varieties that you've got to start early. What you see?
Oh, it's a weed.
Yeah, that's where I was weeding. But the ground cherries are a variety that you've got to start early to have any luck with. So we'll start those inside or in the greenhouse next year. We've got our bush beans. I've got a burgundy bush bean, and we've got blue lakes over here. That's a blue lake. That's a burgundy. You can see the reddish tint in the leaves and the stem of the burgundy ones. Yep, yesterday I just got my dragon tongue bush beans in, and I've got some of those planted in seed in the middle here. And this little gap where I had a few bush beans not make it. And down in the middle of that bed I put some more. Those are really beautiful. Again, I'll insert a picture so you guys can see what they look like. They are green with like a purple reddish stripe in them. So we'll have those regular green beans and then the burgundy bush beans. And they'll all look really beautiful until you cook them, and then they all turn green. But they're pretty for a little while. On this side, I believe I planted another cucumber there yesterday by seed. And here I've got one more little loofah gourd that we did plant from seed. We did not start it inside. Not sure if it's going to get big enough to produce fruit this year because they are slow going, but we will see. More of the bush beans back here. In this little corner, I've got this little trellis here. I planted some cucamelons. If you guys know what those are, they're called mouse melons or Mexican sour gherkins. They also take a little while to germinate. Should have started them inside, but I couldn't find the seeds until a little later. So I'm not sure if they're going to come up. I actually had given up completely until yesterday. I was about to replant something else here, and I noticed one little sprout back there. So I'm going to give that just a little while. Make sure that it's not a weed tricking me, which it might be. And we'll see if I put anything else back there. Here I've got one little sunflower I started from seed. I believe this is a burgundy sunflower of some kind. Here we have some beets popping up. You can see the little red dots in the dirt there. Those are all beets. Got a little section of those planted. Here are our pole beans. They're doing really good, shooting off tendrils already, climbing up our trellis. I believe we just have regular green pole beans, I believe is what we've got. I'd have to look at my seed packet. Alright, on our last little row of the garden, we have our potatoes. Had a lot of questions about these. If you go back and look at a previous video, you see how much they've grown. What you do is just put a little dirt in the bottom. We use these laundry baskets what they're intended for, from the Dollar Tree. Put a little plastic trash bag in there to keep the dirt from falling through the cracks. And we just cut up our potatoes that we had left from last year and cut those up, put them down in the dirt, covered them up, let them grow a little bit. When they start to pop through, as you can see, I'm not sure what happened there, to be honest, but nothing grew in them. But as they start to grow, you just cover with more dirt. They keep growing, you cover with more dirt. And as you can see, we need to cover with some more dirt right now. Okay, so that's it for the raised beds. Back here, we have an in-ground garden, which we've already decided next year we're not going to have an in-ground garden. We're going to put in beds back here as well, but we didn't have the time this year. The only thing we have back here is 4 watermelon plants. We've got those back here on this first row. I'm not going to show you each one, but they stretch almost halfway across this back side here, so we'll have lots of watermelons. Those are Crimson Sweet watermelons from Baker Creek. And back here we have corn, and we planted 2 kinds of corn. The corn closest to me here is blue popcorn, and we got it for that reason. It's really beautiful. It can be ornamental, or as the name says, you can dry it out, harvest it, and use it as popcorn. It's a smaller variety. I think it only grows to 4 to 6 feet tall, whereas the sweet yellow corn that we have over here, you can tell it's already a lot bigger. It'll grow to around 8 foot tall. And then that far front corner over there, I need to till it up, but there's nothing over there. It's empty. Alright, the last part of our garden right now is our little berry and herb area over here between our 2 houses. We've got a little raspberry bush here. Where'd you go? Right there. And of course I need to weed, but even before I needed to weed, our 2 raspberry bushes that we got, like bare root raspberry bushes, they're not doing terribly wonderful. But the middle one has sped up a lot over the last couple weeks, so we're hoping that that'll turn well. Got some herbs here. Got some cilantro that's bolted. Cilantro is a cool weather herb, so when it started getting hot, it immediately started bolting. We'll let these little flower pods dry out, and we'll save some seeds from those. Got some mint growing in the middle there. That was actually a plant that we did buy from Lowe's, I believe. No, Rural King. We bought that from Rural King. Little bitty tiny plant, and you can tell how much it's spread. Everybody told me absolutely do not put mint in your garden beds because it will take over, and I'm glad that I did not because it spread so much. Got some blueberry bushes back here. This is the first year for those. I doubt we will get many, if any, blueberries this year. Hopefully next year. And I also plan to find a better spot for them. As you can see, we've still got a lot of area to clear back behind the greenhouse, so we might end up putting some berries over there, the bigger bushes. Now this is what I'm excited about. Strawberries. This is bare root strawberries that we started back in the spring, and they've done really, really well. We get a strawberry at least every other day off of it. Right now we've got some that are all turning red at the same time, which is exciting. It's the first time that's happened this year. Got another one right there. I mean, we're not going to have enough for, you know, making jam or pie or anything, but at least we can have a good snack. More strawberries. I don't believe there's any berries. I got one off here yesterday and ate it. Shh, don't tell AJ I didn't share. There's one right there getting ready to turn. I've got some marigolds in here. Don't believe I've got anything else started in this one right now. And then here's the other raspberry bush I was telling you about. It actually looks awesome compared to how it was doing. It was so small that I couldn't really tell the difference in it and the weed, and now it's blooming out pretty big. This is a blackberry bush that my aunt gave me a start of. It's doing really well. And I've got some chives right here, which if it was not for the pretty purple flowers, you couldn't tell it from the grass that I need to pull out, but that's chives. I figured while I was at it, I'd go ahead and show you guys our flower beds. This rose and that one on that trellis there that I'm getting ready to show you is clearance roses that AJ brought me home from Rural King. They didn't have any green on them. We took a chance, put them in the ground and babied them, and they've done really well. I'm super excited about that. This is a dahlia. It's like a coral and pink pod that will bloom out. It's dead. It needs to be pulled off, but those will open up in a day or two. This is a purple dahlia. This one actually, we had a cold snap right after I planted it, and it killed it off, and I thought it was not going to come back, and it has come back twice as big and beautiful, so we're excited about that. And here's the other $1.50 rose, and this thing was a little bitty nub when we put it in, and it has actually grabbed onto the trellis and climbing up, and I'm super excited about that. I don't even remember what color it was. Maybe yellow. That one on the end's like a coral color, so this one may have been yellow. And then this is a miniature rose that I bought at Walmart for I think $3. I have never bought a miniature rose before, so I'm not sure if that's just what they're calling it or if that's an actual variety. Around the front I've got some shade plants, begonia. The frost also killed this off to a little nub and it came back. I was about to pull it up and then it came back really pretty, so I'm glad I didn't. I've got a hosta here. It's starting to bloom. It looks really good. I think it's really shaded around here. We've got trees all over on this side, so anything that requires a lot of sun we can't put over here. So I think hostas are a good bet. I'm probably going to go ahead and plant a few more down the front of the house here. One more thing I wanted to mention to you guys is this mulch we're using was 100% free. It's hard to tell on camera what a big pile we have left, but it was so big that I could not see over top of it, and we got it from a local tree service. Me and AJ grew up with a guy that works with them, and we contacted them and they just came and dropped it off for us. So if you guys have a tree service you can contact, that, hello Sassy, that will save you a whole lot of money on mulch, because this was hundreds of dollars worth of mulch. We mulched the flower beds, the berry beds, between the rows on the garden, and we still have this big pile left. I do plan to try and use it up pretty soon. We're going to expand the garden beds, so I'm going to try to save it for that. But we do need to get rid of it, because in the back of my mind I keep thinking about, you know, snake pit and such. But anyway, hi Sassy. Are you being nice today? Not an evil kitty. You gotta stay back so they can see your face. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just leave them below. Please like and subscribe and share with someone who you think would enjoy.
Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye.